are ready to go. When the lights go out, we're racing with round 11. And an immense launch by the two Volvos. Wow, did they get off strong. That all-wheel drive working this time. And then everything getting close quarters racing. Oh, that was a big hit. Sadler in the 36 of Schaefer. And it looked like Schaefer may have speared into the wall. We have cars everywhere as Schaefer is absolutely parked. Tom, let's take another look at it. That was a big moment.
Well, you know, when you get this close quarters here and everybody's running side by side, just a single touch can touch this off. You see what happens up in front, and this is all going to come back across the track to the other side. Holy smoke, you don't want to be behind this.
Well, you can see cars fanning everywhere, and Schaefer is going to be on the strap. His day may well be done. Meanwhile, up front, Pilgrim and Popst 1-2 with Whitmer, and then Daskalos, and then Altenberg. Jeff Altenberg, the 07 touring car champ, but he's done some GT racing, and after kind of finding his feet in round 10, because he had no time in that car to speak up, these great shots up to these S's is spectacular. Altenberg now knows the car. He certainly knows the track. This could be fun. Oh, Quila having a big off in her Go For It Racing School's Hawk VW. See if we can watch what happens here.
Just gets high-sided on the curb a little bit there, loses traction. As you can see, Carolyn Quila does the smart thing, waits for it all to finish, then starts to add a little bit of lock and then gets going.
Now let's go back and take a look at our Optima Batteries best standing start. Don Istook in his VW, an absolutely brilliant launch. Gets the good launch here. Now watch what happens when everything unfolds up in front, Tom. This is where he makes up a bunch of spaces.
They start to thread the needle here, puts four wheels on the grass, and Don Istook, the Texan, never lifts. What a brilliant drive by Don Istook. He deserves that one.
We're riding with Robert Stout as he is once again, well, he must be getting a little tired of chasing Todd Burris and seeing that car in front of him all the time. But Stout, look at the attack he's in. Both of them using up every bit of racetrack and some of the dirt on the other side. Stout down the inside. This is the approach up into the famous Oak Tree turn. That is turn 10, I believe, and he got in there beautifully. Now can Burris come back? Boy, he dirtied up Burris' windshield.
Let's take a look at Devin Cates' start now, as Devin Cates has come over from the Mustang Challenge, and he very nearly gets caught up in that one. And Don Istook still on the gas, goes blowing straight by him.
And now we are on board with Alex Ratcliffe in the King Rat car just for his perspective on this. He's all over the debris and just gets down underneath. And oh, look at this. There's Cates. The door popped open on that car. Boy, lots going on in that moment.
Out of Oak Tree, Devin Cates just leans over and closes it.
Meanwhile, there is Andy Pilgrim, and you can see Whitmer has gone around Popes, picked up that second spot, and that's big in terms of both the Drivers' Championship and in the Manufacturers' Championship. So this is going to be very interesting right here. Look at Whitmer hammering through those S's. That's one of the great sequence of corners in racing, period. And looks as though we've got somebody a rough ride. He gathered it up. Boy, big moment there for the 28 of Sandberg.
Another highlight reel moment for Brett Sandberg. Meanwhile, the leaders are starting to work traffic. This is always an interesting part of every World Challenge race.
And look at Daskalos just dropping those tires on the outside of the curbing, throwing up some dirt in Sofronis' face. Sometimes you think, you know, obviously you're trying to straighten those turns out, but it doesn't hurt to dissuade the guy behind you a little bit, throw some junk in his face.
Also doesn't hurt to hook those production Toyos on the outside of the curb, give you a little bit more grip there.
Oh, what a move! Sorry, Tom, but what a great move by Sofronis, but then he got in a little too hot, runs it wide, and gathers it back up. Boy, Sofronis is in aggressive mode today, glued to the back of Daskalo. Oh, and look at this beautiful move by Stout. You don't see that often, an outside in going through Oak Tree. Now, the question is Burris alongside? You can see he is from the onboard shot. They are absolutely door handle to door handle down this long, winding, climbing, dropping back straight as they're up and through the hills here and heading toward turn 14, and it's very difficult to go side by side through 14. It's going to be interesting to see how this one settles out. Here we come, starting to fade into the corner, and oh, it is still there. It is that close, folks. Boom! A little bit of a touch. That's World Challenge Racing. Burris hangs on.
That's Sports Car Wars. Supercharged versus turbocharged. Those two guys side by side all the way up the straightaway. Man, I can hardly stand this.
And then we get right back to this battle again. Sofronis all over the back of Daskalos. Daskalos a little wide of the apex. Sofronis shows the nose. Sofronis dropping the hammer on the Porsche. He's through. Boy, he knifed through that absolutely beautifully. And look behind those boys. Oh, but Safronis off again. Boy, he makes a great pass. Then he just throws it off the track. Then he makes a pass, and he has an off again. He is driving literally the wheels off this car, and I don't mean off the car itself, but right into the dirt. But he's throwing everything at it in this one. Some great stuff. Meanwhile, Burris and Stout, it's still on. We are under a full course caution. Let's take you to some highlights here. First of all, a big moment here in our race recap. Rob Morgan having a great race, but gets mugged a little bit by Jason Daskalos, and
smoke.
Off track he goes.
Mugged is the right way to say that. He just shoved him straight off the track.
And unfortunately, you know, there's a thing called karma, and it apparently did little damage to Jason's car because suddenly he can't get it to turn, gets it back on track, but he makes a stop at what they call the south pit lane on the far side of the track. And you can see his day is done. Meanwhile, P.D. Cunningham, the onboard, but the story is up front. Watch Kuno Whitmer. That's Oak Tree. Runs wide, runs wider, and boom. Yep, stuffs it in. Watch this angle, Tom.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, Kuno Whitmer probably had this thing in reverse before he hit the wall. There is the damage, and there is some debris on the track. That's why we're under full course yellow.
And we are about, though, to go back to green. They got it cleared up quickly. There is the restart, and Pilgrim leads away with post. So look at Morgan. He's obviously got a little red mist going, and he is determined to make some ground up here. A beautiful restart by Morgan. Look at him coming up alongside, trying to get by both Whitmer and Altenberg. Here comes Safronis down underneath, and Whitmer, obviously that car is a little bit damaged. Morgan gets sideways again over in turn one, but hangs on to it, still sits in fifth, but Jeff Altenberg now up into third, and Whitmer in trouble. That car at a crawl.
Oh, that's just too bad for the 13 car, the whole Woodhouse Performance team. There was a championship in hand here, but now it's the two Volvos out front, and as you can see, man, they're pouring the gas to it with the Porsches.
And keep in mind, folks, Pilgrim is doing it in last year's car. He said he got behind the wheel and said, feels like an old pair of slippers. I'm liking the ride. Look at this. 5 cars. That is your top 5, folks, in the GT category. And Rob Morgan having an amazing run. His best of the season, and Jeff Altenberg showing what he's capable of with a little time in the car. And here is the battle in the touring cars. Championship on the line here. Burris leads it, but Stout right there in second. These two have been absolutely at it, and they're coming up on some traffic. This is the GTS category, but they're staying close, and they're getting into the twisty bits where these cars can really make a difference. And you can see Stout closing in as Burris bogged just a little bit through the Oak Tree. Now it should open up in terms of straight open. Meanwhile, here we go. Andy Pilgrim is going to get it done. As you pointed out, Tom, after a tough season, he gets his win, and deservedly so from pole. An amazing run for him. And there is a look as he's slowing it down, enjoying this moment.
It's great. The whole Craig K-Pax team out on the lawn there. Now we go to Peter Cunningham in the GTS category, kind of making up for the previous round here at VIR.
Yep, bringing home his career record-extending 39th win. Just an amazing season for him once again. And here is Robert Stout, and he's tucked in behind Burris. And this is going to be a second-place finish as Burris goes 4 for 4. But for Stout, it is a championship clinching second-place finish. In fact, all 3 of the drivers who could clinch today did. What an amazing season. The youngest ever champion in World Challenge history. What a great story. Let's take a look at our final results. Pilgrim with the win, but Popes with the championship. That 1-2 clinches it for Volvo. Jeff Altenberg that 4th. Rob Morgan a career best 5th. That's Altenberg's best ever GT finish. In the GTS category, Cunningham is saying Jakubowski and Helms running together. Then Burris, Stout, Holland, Pettiford, and Brandon Peterson filling out the top 5 in the touring car category. And you can see Tommy Sadler there, not quite having the run he did in round 10, but nonetheless, great to have him in the championship. And then a couple of the drivers. Eric Meyer, his 2nd race in a row. He came in with a shot at the championship, ends up with 2 DNFs. And there's Andy Pilgrim celebrating. And when we come back, we'll visit with podium finishers and champions.
Well, Andy Pilgrim, after a year of relative frustration here at VIR, it all comes right.
Unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. This I've got to say, K-Pax Racing, awesome. Volvo, amazing. Got a load of support here. And basically, the 3R guys put together last year's car last night because we've been so frustrated with the new car. We couldn't get it right all year. There were major problems in the race yesterday with major overheating. It's been the same way all year. They put this thing together. We put it on the track. We get the pole. We win the race. What can I say? I'm just thrilled. Couldn't be happier.
And it came right for the entire team. Randy Popst, with his finish, clinches the championship. You see Safronis, Whitmer, Pilgrim, and Daskalos the top 5. And for the manufacturers, that finish gives Volvo the manufacturers championship with a race to go as well. Just an amazing season for that K-Pax program. Meanwhile, our game stream rinse and replay of the race, it was this battle between Burris and the VW. On board with Stout, and they were at it like this for laps. And that battle continued right up to the checkered flag, but in the end, it was Todd Burris coming by and picking it up. He's in victory circle.
Todd, we said it yesterday, 3 in a row. Now it's 4 in a row. When's this going to stop?
I hope not at Miller. Wow, it was hot. I think competitors were amazing. We went door to door, bumper to bumper, got into each other a little bit, or he got into me a little bit, and what a race, what a series, what a great thing. Toyos, SCCA Pro, World Challenge, Hugh, it's more than you can ask for.
Todd Burris, one happy camper.
Well, a great brief season for Todd Burris, but when you take a look at the points, that second place finish by Stout clinches the championship. He's the youngest ever champion in World Challenge history at 18, and also Scion has clinched the Manufacturers Championship, the first ever for a Toyota brand. An amazing moment there. Now, speaking of amazing moments, a Sunoco Hard Charger War goes to Charlie Solomon in the Dr. Natasha Mazda. 11 positions he made up, ended up finishing 6th in the touring class. And meanwhile, P.D. Cunningham, another win in GTS.
Well, Peter Cunningham had a pretty good day, too, in the number 43 TSX.
Oh, yeah, much better than yesterday. Right from the start, my Acura ran great and was able to gap second place and beyond, and everything was fine right until that yellow came out for debris, but managed to hang on after the restart. A lot of GT cars were trying to go on either side of me, but so that was a little scary, but hung on. Great for Acura, great for real time.
Pretty good day indeed. The driver points show P.D. Cunningham with a clinch. His record 6th championship in World Challenge over Hussein and Kevin Helms. And then, of course, you take a look at the manufacturer points. Acura had already clinched it. It gives them a record 9th championship, breaking the tie they had with Porsche. And speaking of Porsches, let's go to our MTM SpecialOpsWatch.com best move of the race, and it was the pass Porsche's James Safronis put on Jason Daskalos over in that turn 1, 2, 3 complex, squeezing the inside. And for our Manufacturers Fan Championship, second day in a row here at VIR, Volvo. The fans coming out in droves. Hey, they liked winning it so much after round 10, they decided to really come out for round 11, and boy, did they.